Let's do it. And we black with another one. All right, man, let's get into it. Got some hot topics, and then I got a topic for everybody. My topic that I chose. So let's get into the first topic. Is my boy Marvin Sapp. Yeah, Marvin Sapp. Shout out to Close the Doors. Yeah, shout out to Marvin Sapp, man. Getting that money. Gangster in the church, son. Yeah. Hey, man. My boy was a gangster, wasn't he? He was telling his what they call him? Yeah, his crew, his shout out to gang. Yeah, he was telling them, play with me. Yeah, that boy was not playing. Yeah, they should have drugged him up out the church. Nah, I'm just playing, but that was a little bit wild. I ain't gonna lie, that was a little wild. Marvin Sapp, you gotta chill out with that, my boy. If the people want to give, let the people give. That's one thing about the church today is it's a lot of just like everything, it's about money. It's all about money, but the thing about that is you got to be straight up. You see, if you into the God game to get paid, you got to be straight up, man. You can't be around here acting like this all for the glory of God, but really you want a private jet, but really you trying to live fat off the hog. Yeah, that ain't the way to do it. I ain't got no hate towards Marvin Sapp. All these prosperity pastors. It is what it is. Live your best life, but don't mislead the people. That's all I'm saying. Don't mislead the people, man. Chill out. Ain't no close the doors. Nah, ain't no close the doors. Yeah, we'll close your jaw. That's what it is. Anyways, that's what it is on Marvin Sapp. No disrespect to him or his family. Just you gotta move, tread lightly, my boy. All right, next topic is Terrence Howard, man. Terrence Howard, he been at it. Yeah, he been at it lately. He was talking about he was on that podcast with my boy. I forgot his name. The Arab dude. PBS or PP something. I forgot his name. Anyways, yeah, he was on a podcast talking about Diddy, talking about manhood, talking about don't never let your manhood get taken because you can't get it back. He was talking about the Hollywood stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, he hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah, he hit the nail on the head with that one. He said women too. Once you let your womanhood get taken, you can't get it back. That's like when people say you selling your soul. It's when you doing something that you shouldn't, like that's immoral to you. If your mom taught you all your life, don't steal, it's not right. And so for money you start stealing. Yeah, that's not gonna sit right in your spirit. So what Terrence Howard was talking about was perverse sexual acts that you ain't cool with. Men and women. We know the women get pressured into it too, and the men get pressured into the rainbow stuff. And yeah, that's not the way to get it, man. You got to get it off the talent. You got to get it out the mud and get it off of talent. You got to be that dude or that woman. You can't go in there talking about, he just want me to do this for him and I'll get the role. Nah, that ain't it, my boy. That ain't it, man. You got to have some morals. You got to have a strong character before you even get into certain things. And that ain't even just Hollywood. That's life in general, because regular people out here will come at you with that type of stuff. And you got to have enough character and morals to not do it. Know what I'm saying? So shout out to Terrence Howard, man. He was on his math journey doing the math. And I don't know all that because I'm not that intelligent to be knowing all that higher math and all that. But I ain't mad at somebody for trying to dig, man. I ain't mad at people for trying to dig. I always say we don't really have the knowledge we need as far as how this life is going. We should all be digging and trying to get to a higher knowledge, higher math, vibrations and magnetism and energy sources. We should all be trying to dig. It could be better than what it is. That's all I'm saying. All right, the next one is a controversial topic. Yeah, this is Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Unfortunately, it was a stabbing that happened, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. But Carmelo Anthony, they was at a track meet. Carmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest and killed him on the spot. He died in his brother's arms. And yeah, just a very unfortunate situation. And I'm on the internet too, and I see a lot of racial stuff with it. A lot of racial stuff with it, and I get that because this is a racist country for the most part. The ones in power, it's a lot of racism. So I get the racial undertone, but I just look at it like you just got to deal with what it is. Even though the race thing is a part of it, you got to deal with what it is. Somebody's right, somebody's wrong. So it is what it is. You can't really be so on the side of just a color. You got to be on the side of what's right. And in my opinion, and I ain't nobody, but my opinion is looking like it's leading towards self-defense. That's just my opinion. But if the facts come out, video come out, then it is what it is. Whatever happened, I ain't with nobody just because they color. I'm with what's right. So hopefully the facts come out, the truth come out. But from what I see, it's looking like it's self-defense. I don't know for sure, but that's what it looked like. But that's just my opinion. I ain't nobody. We all got an opinion. That's just me. But I'm on the side of what's right. That's one thing you got to know. And I see a lot of people online. Maybe they just trolling, but it's a lot of internet personalities who got big channels and stuff. Yeah, they just take a side off of color. They just take a side off of color and just rock with that. And I don't think that's right, because sometimes that color, white or black or Asian, whatever the color, it might not be the right thing. It might have been they was wrong. So you got to be careful with that. I get it, riding with your peoples. I get that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But, rock with your peoples if they right. You can't just rock with a murderer. Not saying Carmelo is, but you can't just rock with anybody, who got locked up for some wrong stuff. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, the guy who was eating people. You can't just be like, free Jeffrey Dahmer, he one of us. Yeah, but he was eating people. So you got to be careful with that, And, to both of the families, man, God bless both of the families. That's just a tragedy either way around. That's unfortunate. We should be able to get together and be happier with one another, But this race thing in America, it ain't died yet. So what can you do? All right, the main topic I wanted to talk about is community over corporations. And the reason I wanted to bring this topic up is because I feel like the corporations have gotten too big for their britches, man. The corporations own everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. They own the politics. They own the food. They own religion. They own warfare. They own the schools. What else is there? Just everything, man. Everything we got, everything out here. The medicine. They own it all. It ain't no avenue that you can go down that corporations don't own it. And that's the Elon Musk, the Trump, the Zuckerbergs, the Bezos, owner of Walmart's. These dudes, man, and when that happens, it becomes a sick society. As you can see, look outside, look on the news, it's a sick society. Look at the food, look at the medicines, look at what is promoted. Family, structure, good living, morals, community, that's not promoted. Look at what's promoted and you'll see the community. Look at how they treat the sick and the poor. That's the community. Look at how they treat the veterans who come home and they got to fight. They got to fight for housing. They got to fight for benefits. Yeah, that's the community. You love warfare, but then the ones who went and did warfare for you, they got to scratch tooth and nail just to get some help. Yeah, that's a sick society. Look at the homeless problem. Yeah, the homeless problem booming everywhere. Cali is outrageous. Everywhere is becoming outrageous. That's a sick society. Why you treat the homeless like that? And why do it? And a lot of these people ain't even like strung out on drugs. And that's the problem. A lot of them just can't make it. They got minimum wage job, kids in a family. You can't make it. Yeah, you just can't make it. You go talk to a lot of these people. They be like, I was just working a regular job. Rent was too high. Car payment too high. Food too high. I got 2 or 3 kids. I'm a single parent. Yeah, you just taxing them out the game. The middle class, you damn near got to make 100,000 to be all right in America. Yeah, that ain't it, man. That ain't the way to do it. So that's why I brought up community over corporate. The community got to be strong and we got to help each other. And at some point, man, I feel like we just should go against the corporations. That's my personal opinion. Walmart, all this. Like if Walmart in your city, I just feel like all the townspeople should come together and just take what they want. That's my opinion. Take what you want. We should all come together and go to Walmart, say we hungry, we're poor, we're starving, we're overtaxed. Take what you want. I ain't saying to the mom and pop shop, that's a hard working person, but the corporations who don't care about you one bit and just, pay politicians and pay this and pay that just to get it their way, man, I could care less about them, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. People be ready to kill you if you go somewhere and ask for more. Like, let's say you go to McDonald's, you tell the person, or really Subway, that's a good example. You go to Subway and you tell the person, hey man, put a little extra meat on there for me. That's gonna be $2. Bruh. Put some extra meat, bruh. What you got going on, man? And why you so ready to fight for the corporation? They don't care about you. You just a number. The person that you serving, that's probably your neighbor. The owner of Subway don't care about you. That's why they paying you how they paying you. That's why your life is hard. They don't care about you. Help the ones in the community. I was working at a gas station one time, and man, I used to look out for the community, man. I used to give what I can, let people slide who don't quite got enough money. If you need a free drink, if you need a free coffee, sometimes homeless people come in there, they don't got money for a drink. Man, get a drink, man. Get it till it run out. I don't care. I ain't saying go loot and steal everywhere, but man, come on, man. I ain't saying get in trouble, but it's time to rise up against the corporations. This ain't working for us. Yeah, the little man, this ain't working for us. I'm a truck driver. It ain't working for us. Yeah, it ain't working for us. So, always community over corporate. Don't forget that. Power to the people. That's how it got to go, man. Not the corporations, not the filthy rich, not these $50 million yachts. And they over here doing all this stupid stuff, man. And we just the little worker ants, little bees, making all the honey for them. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. This life is ridiculous. So, power to the people. And I hope people wake up, and I hope people can hear my voice and resonate. And, just in your immediate surroundings every day, just show the people you got love for them, man. Show your brother you got love for him. Show your neighbor, everybody who you interact with. Say it's us. We the people. It's us against them. And that's really all I got, man. I'm back on YouTube. I'm trying to get right. I'll be on TikTok going live too. So catch your boy on TikTok. And yeah, man, that's it for this week. You'll see me next week. I'll let y'all boys. And I'm out.